One of the most appalling and commonly seen issues in today's society is gun violence and how its influence has been shaped into a recurring event at schools. We see it on the news all the time, and something clearly needs to be addressed to solve this issue. Even though there are numerous federal and state laws prohibiting gun marketing, purchasing, and possession, these laws still are not strong enough to protect the country's people. Some of the laws mentioned include the National Firearms Act, the Federal Firearms Act of 1938, the Gun-Free School Zones Act, and the Federal Assault Weapons Ban. While these laws are in use, people are still entering school zones heavily armed. Some of these laws, such as the Federal Assault Weapons Ban, were temporary laws that only lasted a few years. If these laws weren't permanent, then how can the government assure people that they will stay safe? Tonight we have an interview with Joe Murphy. Joe, how are you?
Pretty good. Thank you for having me, Blake.
So Joe, tell me what your thoughts are on gun laws right now, and if you take any issue with them, what would you change?
Honestly, I don't think it's the gun's fault. Like, when you think about it, all these shootings were caused by insane psychopaths. And we're focusing on the gun. Well, I think we start focusing more on the person behind the gun instead of that gun itself. Because I think we're getting the problem mixed up here, if you know what I mean.
So you're telling me that it's mental illness that's leading to these shootings?
Exactly. Because you don't see a sane person with a gun shooting up a crowd. It's usually someone mentally ill of sorts.
That's very interesting, Joe. Now, tell me, do you think that these movements being made by the general public by, say, Emma Gonzalez, do you think that these movements are necessary to create change regarding gun laws or gun reform?
It would be if it was the right movement. And when I see them on the news shouting, "Oh, guns are the enemy," well, I think, well, people behind the guns, are they not the enemy? Because that's all I hear from these people. I don't hear a solid solution. I hear them just crying out for change, if you know what I mean.
It's very interesting. Thank you for your time. Coming up, we have more info on gun laws and what the general public is doing to reform them. As of today, the United States government has yet to form some sort of protection against mass shootings. Even after the infamous Las Vegas shooting, our government has allowed multiple other deadly shootings to occur. While hundreds of people are being killed by gun violence in the United States, our government is more worried about putting up border walls and helping helpless immigrants out of the country than protecting our own people. To attempt to get the president's attention, many people who have been victims of deadly mass shootings have spoken out and formed organizations that try and shed light on the subject of shooting prevention. Two figures from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Florida, where one of the deadliest school shootings to date took place, Emma Gonzalez and David Hogg, are leading the fight to form stronger gun laws regarding interstate gun commerce as well as prohibiting unlicensed firearms transfers. David Hogg, in one of his many speeches directed at the public, said, "I'm not going to let these politicians keep murdering my friends. How can we let these people stay in power if they're just trying to save themselves?" Another figure who has given us some insight as to what actions need to be taken come from a young woman named Naomi Wadler. She recently spoke at the youth-led March of Our Lives movement, calling out to the government for stricter reinforcement regarding gun laws and gun reform. Though she's not experienced a gun shooting firsthand, she wants to be part of the change needed to make the world a better and safer place for all scholars. In the face of all these most recent sudden outcries from the American people and politicians find themselves deeply divided. As one side sees the gun debate as a way to progress America in the world, the other side sees it as a violent attack on an amendment of which this country was founded upon. This topic for many people is very personal, so much so that it affects their relationships with their friends, family, and how they function in their day-to-day lives. We live in a society where your opinions are your facts, and anyone who opposes them are automatically your enemy. Debate and rational discussion has been replaced with insults and intimidation. And now many will ask how we did let this happen. Who's to blame? If you're looking for the guilty, you might want to look in the mirror. This is a problem that has burrowed so deep in the American psyche, where the agenda of Americans' politicians has replaced the will of the people they swore an oath to serve. This has been 5 Minutes. We thank you for joining us.